Mary Cerruti had a difficult childhood. Mary's family barely had enough money to get by, and then by the time Mary was 21, both of her parents had passed away, leaving her with nothing. And then eventually she met a man that she fell madly in love with, and they got married, but unfortunately that marriage would end in divorce. She would meet another man who she would also fall in love with, and they would get married too. This one also ended in divorce. Instead, she kind of embraced her life as a loner. Fast forward to 2015, and Mary was 61 years old, and she was still living alone. She lived in a small home in a Houston neighborhood. Mary didn't really have much contact with other people. She didn't have much contact, if any, with her living family. Mary was not lonely. She had lots and lots of cats. Anytime she saw a stray cat out in the neighborhood, and eventually would try to coax the cat to come into her house, and then when it did, she would win the cat's trust, and then she would give it a place to live, and she would feed it and take care of it. And so before long, she had dozens of cats living in the house with her. In February of that year, one of Mary's neighbors, they saw a stack of mail had grown on her front porch, indicating that Mary had not opened her door to get her mail. They knocked on the front door, but it was silent. And so the neighbor tried knocking on the door one more time, but again, met with silence. Something's off. Something's wrong. Someone needs to make sure Mary really is okay. A few minutes later, the Houston police arrived. They knocked on her door. It was met with silence. The police talked to one of the other neighbors and got a key. They used the key, they unlocked the door, and right away they were hit with this horrible smell coming from inside the house. And they saw there were all these dead cats all over the ground. After searching the house top to bottom, they could not find Mary. And so they really kind of ripped the house apart looking for her. There was just nothing. Several months later, Mary's house went into foreclosure, and a real estate entrepreneur in Houston bought the house up quickly. Then in March of 2017, this young couple reached out to the landlord and said they were looking to rent. The husband decided to just go over on his own, and then at some point he decides he wants to go up into the attic. He noticed off to the right side of the attic, he saw one of the floorboards was kind of popped up, and when he was standing over it, he could tell that this floorboard had kind of popped off of this hole in the ground. And he turned on his flashlight and he looked straight down and he aimed the light into this hole, and he sees at the bottom the remains of the woman the Houston police have been looking for the past 2 years. Mary Cerruti. It's believed back in early 2015 when she went missing, she had gone up into the attic, she stepped on that loose floorboard and it gave out from her weight and she kind of fell through it like a trap door. And so trapped in this little space, Mary spent probably a couple of days screaming and trying to get her way out, and then eventually she passed away. And then unfortunately, all of her cats did too.